Sir, do you know why I pulled you over?
Speeding?
No, it's because your intro sucks. Please step out onto the curbside.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Curbside Podcast, the podcast where we talk about cars and everything to do with cars. My name is Jeff. I have a headache right now, and I drive a Honda S2000 2004 from SoCal up in NorCal right now. Yeah.
Jeffrey's up here in the Bay Area. What's up, everybody? My name's Parth. I drive a 2016 M3, living on the other side of the bay.
I'm Andrew. I drive a 2014 Evo 10 MR and a 2015 Subaru BRZ, and I don't have a headache.
I don't have a headache either.
And today we have a guest, my buddy Justin here from a friend from Cal Poly. So,
Do you have a headache?
No headache. No headache today. One yesterday, none today.
That's 3 headaches, 1 no headache if you're keeping score.
Justin, what do you drive?
Oh gosh. So, just sold my 2014 Mini Cooper S, thank God. And now I've got one hand-me-down of a 328i 2014 BMW.
Yeah, Justin is the guy in the videos with Andrew.
Yeah,
I
swapping
think
out motor mounts.
we did the motor mount on the Mini,
Yep.
and then
the backup camera.
backup
And the-
camera.
Camera one. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was here, he was hanging out, and he was telling some good stories, so we're like, just be on the show. Right. He was telling us all this stuff, and we're like, why are you not telling this on a podcast while being recorded?
Yeah, so you didn't always have the Mini, right?
No. Originally, I guess the first car I had was a hand-me-down 89 Acura Integra with the
Oh,
flip-up
wow.
lights.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Really?
manual. Learned 5-speed, learned on that. It was great. Leaked when it rained. Tires were bald, so in the rain, if you parked on like a little bit of a slope on the painted line and you put it into gear and you let go, it would just spin for about a minute before
Wow.
you'd actually go down before going back up the hill.
See, that's the kind of car you want to learn how to drive on.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I could shift it without the clutch.
See, and now you can drive anything that comes your way.
And then after that, had a 2004 WRX wagon that died 2 years ago, was it?
Yeah, she was killed 2 years ago.
A drunk driver at 2 in the morning slammed into it in front of my house. Lots of good memories of both the car and watching it die.
Oh, no.
You were telling a fantastic story earlier that after you did a series of things before the insurance company people came up.
Oh, yes. So the car was, I wouldn't say heavily modified. Stage 2 catless was outside in front of the house because it wouldn't move, taking out the catless downpipe and taking off all parts that I could to sell so that both the insurance wouldn't know and so that hopefully I could get a penny back.
And before you talk shit, if you have a car like that, you know you're doing the same thing.
Especially living in the suburbs where everyone's mom was out watching me fucking lift the car like underneath the car at like 2 a.m. pulling out parts, and they're like, oh,
Take
just,
it to
you know.
the person who like checks it is like, yeah, they crashed into my car, they stole my wheels, stole my cat, stole everything.
They stole my steering wheel too, man. They took everything.
Good times.
And then currently, what are you driving?
The 2014 BMW 328i.
And how you liking it?
Better than the Mini? Does that count for anything?
Yeah, it counts.
I love it. It's hand-me-down from my girlfriend who just got a 2020 X3, which is a gorgeous car.
One of the first things Justin told me when I met him today was that he's upset about what we said about the SUV stuff last week. So I had to explain myself again. I feel that's going to be a common theme about me explaining myself with shit I say on this show.
Well, it's because you shit on everyone.
Yeah, I do. That's okay. There has to be one person here that's always the
Shit talker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I have a clear divide with what I think about this and what I think about that. Jeffrey's about Tesla. Andrew likes Tesla.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdo. But you gotta have somebody who's just polarizing to the point where that's the kind of conversation you start when you meet the person.
Yeah.
I have a problem with what you said about the SUVs. All right, man, let's talk about it.
It's fair.
So he was like, they're not all the same. And I said, look, the ones that have the inline fours or the 6 cylinders, the advanced soccer mom cars. They all drive. Those all drive the same. Now you compare an X3M to a Cayenne GTS or Cayenne Turbo. So then I would say, yeah, then you probably notice a difference. The rest of it, they're all targeting the same market. So why would they try to make it any different? What they do make different is the interior. Like I'd say compared to the X5 at that same price point, that Porsche Cayenne that I drove a few weeks back, that Cayenne interior was nicer.
It's a big statement, though, saying that the Porsche is nicer interior. I mean, Porsche's interiors are gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I have to say, BMW
is nice. I mean, I can't hate too much because, like I said, my mom has an X3, and that interior is also nice. But like, it's just that little bit. It was just that little bit that was like, ooh, it caught your eye a little bit more.
The thing that I've noticed with BMW, like we were talking about before, they remind me of the Apple of cars in the sense that they don't come to the new until 5 years too late.
That's true.
Audi just had the virtual cockpit. The dashboard has the map and everything. They've had that for what, 3 years?
I think the TT was the first one a few years ago that had that.
BMW 2020 is the first year.
And then everyone goes and buys a BMW just like Apple.
Yep. They shit on it and then they buy it.
I think the reason why they do that though is, do you remember their first iDrive when it came out?
It sucked.
It sucked so hard, dude. it was one knob. It was like silver.
It looked like an upturned pie dish.
Yeah. And they put everything in the menus, and then they gave you the only way to control, was that knob.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried Lexus?
Oh, the Lexus mouse
With the mouse little flicky thing that my dad's car has
That's number 2 in terms of worst ideas ever, followed by BMW's first iDrive.
Or you can use BMW's like finger waving thing. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
You like,
does that work well? Like,
You literally do it to show your friends.
yeah.
Just imagine you accidentally like activate it, pissing someone off.
Which is one thing I was telling you today. It was like, when you give, like, you know, if you drive in a nice car and you see somebody else in the same nice car, you give them the deuce, you know, or the what's up, right?
Yeah.
I was like, sometimes I feel like, what if they take it the wrong way and they're like, they see me do this shit? Like, I feel bad. Like, that guy just fucking flipped me off.
yeah.
That only happens with BMW drivers because
BMW drivers
the normal
are dicks.
demographic is
See, I feel
65-year-old dude
I
who's
feel like
going
most
to the golf
BMW
course.
drivers wouldn't be like waving to each other
Dude,
anyways.
but, dude, most BMW drivers are dicks, dude. Like, you give him the deuce, you even put your hand out the window to give him a deuce if it's an M3 or something.
Yeah.
And the motherfucker just stares at you like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
hello?
Like, they don't
Like,
care.
No,
It's
it's
not
like, man, that guy must be adjusting his radio or something.
yeah.
yeah, that's what he's doing. Oh, man.
I feel like they just don't care. It's not like Subaru guys where they like,
Yeah.
well, they
I mean,
used to wave each other.
I threw the deuces at like, you know,
Anyone.
soccer moms that were driving the
Yeah.
the old W, because I had the WRX, the 2004 wagon that besides me, everyone else who owned it was like a mom.
Yeah.
So I'd throw the deuces,
Yeah.
see what happens.
They probably threw it back, too, because that's Subaru community right there, dude.
Not so much.
Subi Wave is like dead now.
What cars have?
I don't know.
Which cars have what?
What have a wave? I know Jeep people do a wave.
Jeeps,
or Jeep
86.
86 people do
Evo
a wave.
guys.
Miatas do a wave with the.
Oh yeah.
Is that a thing, really?
Yeah. They
No
flip
way.
it. If you have an NA,
And then some of them like flip flop it. They can like or like
Yeah.
wink it.
Oh, I didn't even know that. See, that
I feel like many people kind of have one.
really?
I did not partake, but I feel like many people are really about their minis, like
Yeah.
heavily.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Mini, how did you end up with a Mini?
The story goes after multiple cars being destroyed. We won't go into all of them. Subaru being the first. Was commuting a 40-mile each way commute to work and needed something good on gas. So kind of the few different options depending on the price, but it's kind of like, okay, do I get a cheap Corolla? You know, if it falls apart on the freeway going to work, I call in, say,
Buy another Corolla.
not come to work today.
Yeah.
Buy another one. Then the next option was a Prius. Yeah, that would have hurt more than the Mini, and would have been almost the same price. And I don't know what the miles per gallon on those are, but I don't think they're that amazing.
It's not that much better than what your Mini got.
Right, so that was like, I think like 50.
And that's if you're driving like a Prius driver. Yeah.
So then the Mini, it got 40 miles per gallon.
So who all of you motherfuckers that buy Priuses for gas mileage, go fuck yourself. Right? This guy made a conscious decision not to buy a Prius because
It was wonderful.
yeah.
I mean, I did not fit the Mini idea at all.
Yeah. He also got roasted by like every single.
Got
one of our
roasted by
friends.
everybody. I roasted
Prius,
myself.
dude.
But imagine if you had a Prius. You know how much worse that would have
Yeah,
been?
that would have been way worse.
Yeah.
Well, I probably would have killed myself before because it was my only car. I could do a Prius as like a daily if I had a fun car in the garage.
Yeah.
As my only car, I couldn't do it.
But the thing is, you probably, we talked about this, what was it, last week or the week before?
Yeah.
If you had a fun car in the garage and you had a Prius, you'd be getting worse gas mileage than your Mini because you'd be flooring it everywhere.
Yeah.
So you came out smarter and ahead by buying a Mini instead.
And a Mini's actually kind of fun to
And
drive.
Minis-
right?
It was
Super fun to drive.
super fun.
More
As long as only one person was in the car. The 1.6 liter turbo does not do well with any more than one person. It's super go-karty. You're in the car, the hood's like a foot long.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
you know, attached to the road. You're banging corners. One person gets in the car like half horsepower. You're done.
It felt fast though. Like when I drove it, it pulled harder than the BRZ, or at least it felt like it pulled.
That's
harder
because
than
you
the
pulled
BRZ.
left and then right
Yeah,
because of
that's
torque
true,
steer.
But see, it's all about feeling fast. Like you could
Yeah.
have an M3 like I do and then you go fast and you are going fast and next thing you know you have a speeding ticket.
That's the thing about BMWs, and the Mini was the same. Was on the freeway, you
So
did not
comfortable.
feel like you were going 80, which
That's
I
the-
didn't think would be the case with that little of a car. But you're going 80 and you're like,
Super comfortable.
That's that German engineering. Yeah.
You had to
Doing-
pay those German prices.
oh
too,
yeah,
like,
it goes straight to the BMW dealer. And, oh man, that hurts.
Don't you guys feel sometimes that like BMW ruined the Mini brand? Like they used to make like the
That's 'cause
first
they
Mini,
just-
you know?
Puffed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
Minis were
that's
actually
like,
mini.
Someone tell me why they make a 4-door Mini, like the normal Cooper.
Yeah.
They make
Yeah.
a 4-door, which looks terrible.
It looks bad.
And then they made, what is it, the Countryman?
Clubman.
And the Clubman.
with
version.
like the swinging.
So the
back doors.
Clubman had the wagon, which was
Yeah.
a 2-door wagon, which was really ugly.
and it was
Also,
huge.
It's a 4-door wagon.
probably pretty
Yeah,
useful,
it's 4-door.
but they made it a 2-door though.
Yeah.
There was a 2-door version.
No, it's technically a 3-door.
Well,
It had
shut
one
up.
door out of it, and like this
Don't be that.
tiny little,
Don't be like it's a 5-door. It's a. Nobody
like
counts that.
tiny little like thing that would.
Here's
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, I thought you meant the
Oh, no,
like
not the
trunk
hatch
people
thing.
who are like, oh no, it's a 3-door car. It's a 5-door car. It's like no, it's not.
Here's the whole point. Literally, the brand is called Mini because it was small.
Yeah.
Right?
And all their cars are gigantic now.
Huge, dude. Have you stood next to a Countryman or Clubman? They're like, yo, dude, this is the size of like a 2 Series.
Is the Countryman? Which one's the biggest?
The Countryman.
Is it the
Yeah.
Countryman?
Yeah.
It's like the size of the fucking X3 or something.
Yeah.
They're huge. Okay, that might be an exaggeration, but it's a big car.
It's not a Mini. Yeah.
Oh, it's huge.
And that's because the fucking Germans bought the Mini brand, and then now they're Germifying it. Germifying. It. In my opinion, the last good-looking Mini made was the ones that they used in the Italian Job with Marky Mark. The Cooper S's, those was souped up a little bit.
Yeah, with like the white wheels.
Yeah.
Kind of
Those
like rally
look
wheels with a
sick,
stick.
dude. I would love to have one of those.
Especially for like San Francisco or something. Ooh,
Yeah.
park anywhere. I mean, even my Mini, it was great.
Yeah. You'd be like Charlize Theron, you know, driving through the streets, fucking ripping it up, you know.
Those were actual minis.
Yeah, but it's fucking America, and they want to appeal to the SUV market. So what do? They fucking make it huge.
Yeah, even the smallest car is kind of big now.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I would have loved to drive though? I believe, and I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure Jay Leno had on his show a 2-motor Mini Cooper. Fuck, that would have been fun.
What does it take to like sync up 2 motors?
Too much.
An amazing tune.
Or just not give a shit. And just hope they just,
one's turning faster than the
just tie the throttle cables together and see what happens.
The rear makes 500. The front makes about 320. We're just going with that though.
No, but yeah, the Mini was a great purchase, but I don't think I'd do it again. It was
So-
great for what I needed it for.
So now you have the 328. Good car. Nothing wrong with it. I think there's something wrong if you buy 320. 328, nothing wrong. That's fine. Good car. Good car for everyday driving. Like we were talking earlier, it's fast when you want it to be fast. Now, but like you said as well, it's not like the enthusiast sports kind of. So if you were to buy something now, what do you have your eyes kind of like? What would you buy right now? If you had, you want to do it right now.
I think Andrew, because I've spoken to him about this before, basically be your car.
Oh, okay. Shit.
Probably a 2018, and with the DCT.
With the dual clutch.
I'm done with manual. After driving stick in traffic, driving stick since high school. Once you
Oh,
drive a
the system.
DCT, it's
is nice.
fun.
Yeah.
And the ability to throw it into automatic whenever you want, primo. Like,
Well, Andrew drove my car the other day.
Yeah.
And he got to experience the auto, blip.
Oh, the auto blipping.
downshift.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
insane. Like the blips are like perfect.
Exactly. Like
It's
you can
insane.
literally go into third, drop the clutch, and it's just perfectly matched.
Yeah, there's no like engine braking
Yeah.
or anything.
So
Yeah,
that's
it's
what I was
insane.
telling Andrew. I was like, it feels like a button. Like it doesn't even feel like you're driving a real manual. I have to get into other people's cars, and if I drive their manual, I have to remember that I have to match the RPMs
And
myself.
Then do horribly at it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a struggle, but
burn through all the clutch.
yeah. But these days, like the DCT is nice, but it feels like the manuals, like they're a lot easier than what they used to be for sure. Yeah.
Oh, the 2004 WRX was like,
You had a heavy
it was
ass clutch.
heavy. It was short. It was fun, but like in traffic, got a leg workout. The other car I might think of getting would be an M2 competition.
Those are nice, dude. It's basically that engine, the M3 engine in the M2. Fantastic. If I knew that was coming, I probably would have waited and got that instead.
I want a 4-door car, but
Yeah.
for the performance, that car is just insane, and they look great.
But that's in my opinion, what the M3 should have evolved to. Because now the M3 is what the 5 Series used to be a while ago. If they would have kept it how the E46 was going and everything after that, E90 as well, okay, it was bigger, but it had the V8, which made up for every flaw that it ever had. But then they went to the F80, and this is the size of what the generation before 5 Series was. And I was like, then the M2 competition came out a few years later, which I'm like, that should have been what the M3 should have been.
So, on that note,
Yeah.
how do you feel about them moving the M3 to the 4-door only, and the M4 becoming the 2-door?
That's just marketing. That's just marketing because the whole BMW
The M3
brand.
to begin with,
Yeah.
the iconic car is a
Yeah,
2-door
it was a
car.
two-door.
It is.
So
Yeah.
you think of an M3 before now.
I think BMW just wanted to make a car and like for every segment and like have a name for every
Yeah.
single thing.
That's like trying to explain that to people.
That's
That
what it
like
is.
the M3 or the 3 Series is the 4-door version, and then you have like the M4 and the 4 Series, which is the 2-door version, and then you have the Grand Sports,
Yeah, the
which
Grand
is the
Sports is, like,
4-door version of the
annoying.
2-door version of the 4-door car. And they're like, why didn't they just call that a 3 Series?
Yeah.
Why didn't they call that like a Sport 3 Series, a Sportback?
It used to be so simple, and this was also the Mercedes. Like BMW, a 550 meant a 5.5 liter V8.
Well, not yet.
A 320, not a 320. It was what 318 back in the day.
Yeah, 318,
did
and then they had the
3.1.
325.
Yeah, 3.1 liter inline six. Everything made sense. E63 was a 6.3 liter V8.
And they were all naturally aspirated. So bigger number just
Yeah,
meant bigger.
I think turbos messed everything
Oh,
up.
turbos messed everything up because then they tried to throw an eye on it.
Yeah,
Right,
and you
I
can't
mean,
have like
It's just them appealing to the mass market compared to what they were before, which was a niche market.
yeah.
Speaking of that, what do you feel about the A series class?
Why?
I guess. Yeah, like
Why? They have the C already.
I think my dad even got an A class as like a Hertz rental car.
Ugh.
Like they were like, it's that cheap. It's like why? It's kind of like the 4-door 2 Series, but
Don't even talk about that car.
I just had one as a loaner.
Did you?
Actually, it was really fun to drive.
That's the problem.
It was it was an X.
That's the thing with BMW and Mercedes. They don't make bad cars. It's just the fucking their logic behind doing it.
It's fucking ugly.
Yeah.
Like
It's hideous.
every time I got into it, I was like, once I was inside, I was like, cool. This is gorgeous. Has like touchscreen, everything. Outside, you're like, why? What did you do? Especially the new grills that have the active arrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It makes it look even more Prius-y because you can't see through.
Yeah.
Which just something as a car guy is wrong with that. I should be able to see the radiator.
You're about to see a lot more of that shit when the new 4 Series comes out. The non-M.
Speaking of the new 4 Series, this guy likes the new 4 Series.
What?
Explain yourself.
Explain.
I bet you can't.
God, it's I think it reminds me of kind of an Alpha.
Huh? What? How?
I love the
One of the most beautiful cars in the world. You compare it to what looks like a dead fish out of Germany.
I want to wait and see what the actual M cars look like, if they can do something that looks... I do think it looks funky on the non-heavily aeroed cars. It's too much. But I think if you have really big canards and you really put some big aero down underneath, so you kind of have bigger air inlets for brakes or whatever on the sides on the bottom, I think the middle coming all the way down would look really good. If they do the grill right. I think the idea of having the grill go all the way to the bottom, I like it. It's a change. In the 4 Series, it looks bad. Yeah. And I think part of it is it's huge compared to how un-aeroed that car is. Yes. Like you have, just like the 328 that I have, has a small grill. And it works. It's like, okay, this isn't it doesn't have a sport line front end. So you're not gonna have grills the size of my face.
I mean, I'm glad. I was really glad when they came up with that M3 like teaser video recently, and you was like, yeah, that's not gonna have the big massive grills. Which that I'm glad about.
M3 is gonna have.
The M3 is gonna have no. It's not gonna have those big massive grills.
I think it will.
I think it will.
No,
They just put the shield on there.
Yeah.
Dude,
that butt ugly shield. That's just a shield.
It has to resemble the new 3 Series, and the new 3 Series doesn't have that. So I don't think it will.
The current 4 Series.
Yeah, because that's a 2020.
No, but you see that they launched the 4 Series before that.
2021 is gonna have. They're gonna match the 3 and the 4 Series.
So.
They can't do that, dude.
That's why they're coming out.
It doesn't even look like.
Do that.
It does, but if you look at those like videos and photos, it doesn't even look like it can do it. Like it doesn't look like they did it. I mean,
That's because they probably have a different.
I'm buying a Charger. You want my M3, dude? You want my M3? Like fuck this shit, dude. I'm out. This brand is pissing me off. I used to love this brand, and everything they're doing now is making me upset.
How do you feel about the new 3 Series, the 2020?
It looks like a Lexus. It's from the back.
So you don't like
especially.
it?
No.
Okay. Because
I
know people.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I know people who have like started to turn on it,
Okay.
and I think that's the same with the F Series though. When the F Series came out, nobody liked it.
Okay, no.
Nobody.
Hang
all
on.
M3 people were like, V8,
Hold up.
V8. This
Wait a
looks
minute.
ugly. Now
Wait a
look.
minute. That's not true.
That's so true.
That's not true. When it came
Every
out,
BMW enthusiast owner is like that.
Everybody said when the new M3 came out, the worst thing was that it sounded like shit. And I can agree to that. It still, to this day, is not the best sounding car, but it is the most pretty looking M3 that they've made.
You're gonna have a lot of fighting comments on that one.
Besides the E30.
I like it. I want an F80.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot of comments.
No, but they can
saying
fuck themselves.
That,
So-
that's just the.
This is the truth.
calling that the most pretty M3
in the modern era. It looks better than the E36. It looks a lot better than the E90. That's for sure. The sedan, and it like everything about it is well proportioned. The hips, the front end. You drop some lowering springs. It looks fantastic. It looks.
You're just
good.
describing your own car.
But I see in my
You're just
mind.
dreaming.
I made the best looking M3. I mean, not the best looking. In my mind, for me, the best looking M3.
I just think BMW owners are always like, especially enthusiasts. Mine's the best.
Yeah.
The new ones suck.
Yeah.
They're ugly. And then after a year or
2
two,
years
everyone
later,
buys it and they're like,
yeah.
oh, it's great. Like, I love those taillights. I love that.
I've said that shit before on the
Happens
show.
all the time.
Where I said these motherfuckers who are right now like, hey, it doesn't look good, it doesn't look good. And then there's people posting, you know, I've been looking at it more, it's not that bad. I'm like, this is why they get
So when
away
all
with
of you
this
come
shit.
back,
Yeah.
come talk to me about it. I like
No,
it.
man, I'm telling you, I'm done. After this M3,
He says that.
I'm done. I'm going American. I'm buying a fucking Hellcat looking like one of those fucking crazy
A year from now, roll this back. Let's see where you're at.
That's how BMW survived the Bengal fire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
I mean,
I'll still buy it though. Yeah.
that's true. But the M5 had a saving grace, the M5 and the M6, that V10. I would even buy that car today with that shitty design because of that engine. That's it. I want a Formula 1 engine in my fucking everyday car. It may not run all the time, but, you know, at least I have one. True to the news now.
All right, time to do our break. All right, welcome to our break.
Jeffrey needs a fucking break, dude.
As always, you can find us at thecurbsidepodcast.com, and you can find the things there.
Just have Andrew do it.
Yeah, that's the
Things. Some of the things you can find there.
On all the things.
Yeah, you can find our social media: Instagram at the Curbside Podcast, Twitter at Curbside Pod, and Facebook at the Curbside Podcast.
You have a giveaway.
Oh yeah, we do have a giveaway, and we're real close. So we're good on subscribers on YouTube. We're about 7 or 8 followers away on Instagram.
So like a year away.
Probably. Yeah. Knowing Instagram algorithms, yes.
So enter into the giveaway. All you gotta do, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel,
Seltzer down.
and comment your favorite or your dream car on episode 33, and you will be in.
$100 gas cards. Card. One card.
Yeah.
We can afford one.
Yeah. $100 gas card.
And send us an email at thecurbsidepodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions, you want to talk to us, if you want to sponsor us, that's the official method of reaching out to us. We will also take Instagram DMs and all that other stuff too. So
Yeah.
we're not picky, but just more methods for you guys.
Yup. Ooh. Good?
Yeah, over there.
All right. Let's go on to the
Now that we got you loose, oh, I can hear the birds waking up.
Alright, I'm the news fuck. I'm the news fuck.
Today we got Anchor Parth Singh.
Parth is a news boy today. Because none of us decided to do any research on
Yes.
these.
News. First news, BMW. Let's keep the trend going. Been talking about it. They want to start a subscription service for features in your car that you can use.
So like Apple CarPlay.
No. They also dropped that idea because everyone got upset that you're going to charge us for Apple CarPlay.
When you could get it for free.
Yes.
On like Honda Civic.
Exactly. But subscription service for features such as heated seats,
What?
heated steering wheel,
Wait, what?
active high beams.
What does that mean? How does this work?
So
if you don't pay
your car
it-
will have the feature.
Yeah.
You don't pay for it, you don't get it. If you pay for it, you get it.
Is there like a free trial period?
They're saying they will do a trial
There's a trial.
for active high beams and heat warmers and shit.
Shoot, dude, what if your like credit card gets declined or something?
Everyone's trying to be like Tesla. Everyone's trying to be like Tesla.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Besides for the autopilot.
that's
No,
like
they
their
do
number
that for
one
heated
feature.
seats.
Do they really?
Yeah, heated seats are in.
For heated seats and stuff too?
Pretty sure.
No way.
Pretty
Fact
sure.
check
Well,
Check that
maybe fact check that one. Maybe the heated seats are just standard, but I'm pretty sure they're. I know if it's not a standard option, I know that they put it into every car, the heated seat, because from a manufacturing standpoint, it's a
Makes
lot
more
cheaper.
sense, yeah.
The parts themselves are really cheap, but when you're setting up the manufacturing line, options are so expensive.
Because you have to do it for one, not for the other, like
Or you have
that.
to like make
And then
some
you gotta,
stop, make some.
You can't just pump them off the line. You can't have a standard operation. So anything with options costs way more. So by just pumping them into every one,
and
makes
then
every
having
car-
the software decide if
it
they
makes
use
the
it.
marginal car like probably a few $100 more expensive.
It's gonna be so
Across the
much
line.
fun in the future when you're like going to the Pirate Bay and torrenting some heated seats for your car.
Hey, yo, bro, you paid for that shit? No. Here's a torrent link.
BMW is going to start like having a subscription for the gas pedals.
No. What they'll do is M3 comes out, and the supposed, we'll talk about this next. Supposed 510 horsepower, right? But if you want all that 510, you gotta pay the $500 an extra a year.
I mean, isn't that basically what the competition is?
yeah, but you buy it once. Look, that's the thing, it's not a subscription. They said in the article specifically that there's features that's one and done kind of thing. And then they have features that are reoccurring subscription.
What's going to be reoccurring in your car? Like,
Heated seats.
why the fuck would that? See that? Like, I get paying
You
option-
subscribe
yeah,
for
like-
the winter.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're smart, you subscribe for the winter.
So does that mean in BMW fashion that there will be a physical button for it that just won't work?
See, that's
Because I know before, like, there'd be blank buttons, and people got pissed that you look at your car and it's like, oh, there's
Blank button.
like there should be a button there and it looks ugly. Now there's gonna be a heated seat button, and your passenger's gonna hit it, and nothing's gonna happen. Be like, oh, I'm too cheap for that.
it's
I didn't have that option.
On the screen, it's gonna come up as you could subscribe, or you can watch an ad.
You can watch a Candy Crush ad.
What I'm thinking is this.
for
This
30
is this
seconds.
is this is news regarding future BMWs, like maybe 4 or 5 years out from now, right? What I'm thinking is at that point they might all just use the fucking the infotainment system and displays to handle all the stuff like heated seats, whatever. So in that sense, it's easy. It's like it just won't have the heated seat icon if you don't have the subscription or something.
I see the downside of that. because it sucks. But on the upside, does that mean used cars will be so much easier to buy? Because think about, like, when you're looking for a used car, right? You're like, okay, I want heated seats and I want these features.
So it'll have the features. Okay.
Then you can buy literally any
Any car.
car. You don't have to, like, go, okay, I need the one with the active high beams.
That's true.
You can buy any 3 Series and just go,
I'll pay for
I'll
subscription.
pay
Yeah.
the $300 or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's the feature I want.
In that sense, it's good.
But on the downside, does that mean when you get that car that had heated seats, they'll take it away from you?
Right?
Well, remember that one thing that we talked about? This was a while ago, where the Tesla took away the autopilot because they went through an audit, and then they had changed everything. So they took away the autopilot. So yeah, they can take away. They decide how instead of $20 a month, it becomes $30 a month, and you didn't realize that there's a change in that fee, and you don't pay the $30, so they'll take away your heated seat because you don't pay the $10 extra.
So dumb.
So that's something that can happen because they'll do this over the wave updates of your car.
This whole subscription for car features thing is dumb.
Make cars with the features that I want or the ones that I don't want, and I'll pay for the ones I want.
That's it.
It's just
I like
very
the
simple.
one-time fee, but I like that all the features are already in the car.
That's a good part.
Because you could buy a car and later option it up if you want, right?
You may
Like,
realize,
could-
I actually do need heated seats.
right.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds nice, but paying monthly for heated seats, that's gonna hurt my wallet. Like, is my, like, I can do like $500 up front or whatever it is, 300, 500 to option it.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, that's worth it for my butt.
Yeah.
But that's spread out monthly. I'm gonna look through my credit card bill and be like, what did I spend $4 on this month? Oh, so my butt could be happy. Like, how do you explain that?
And how far does this go? Like, can I buy a 320i and for the first week have my M3 trial?
No. I'm gonna answer that one for you. That's a no.
They're shipping all cars with twin turbo inline sixes. They just turn off the cylinders. No, but on other news, LeMANNNsory. These guys, they do like custom shit for super expensive shit.
Really expensive shit.
They did a LeMANNNsory 4GT. And the minute I said that to Andrew before we started recording, he was like, it's going to look like shit.
Because it
I'm
always
looking at-
does. Like, you look at the Porsche Panamera LeMANNNsory one, that was hilarious.
They're very gaudy kind of cars. It fits in Dubai. But this 4GT LeMANNNsory, it's not so bad.
It's
I don't
not
like
so
it.
bad.
Bro, look at this, dude. Like, this, come on. That looks pretty good.
That's alright.
I don't like it.
Looks pretty, I mean, you lost the iconic 4GT, like, headlights.
Yeah.
I think it would
the
look.
GT
I think it
was
would look
perfect.
better if that picture it was paint matched. Like, I don't know why they went
Black and blue. I think it's exposed carbon.
it still reminds me of. Do you remember those leather
nose cover
the leather
things, yeah.
nose cover that everybody put on their cars?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that.
Okay. That's fair.
So I never understood why.
But they're calling it the LeMANNNsory. The article goes through and describes why they call it that. A play on the term Le Mans.
No, I got that.
No way, dude.
It's still
In
dumb.
case you didn't understand. That's fucking stupid. I gotta agree. It's stupid. Packs a wild selection of changes inside and out, as well as a boost in power from the mid-mounted twin-turbo V6. Everyone knows about that shit. LeMANNNsory says the new Ford GT based car was built to celebrate the company's 30th anniversary. The smooth, uninterrupted aero-based lines of the original GTs have been replaced by a selection of new, aggressively styled carbon fiber panels. Like the GT didn't have enough of that.
I was gonna say, are they saying that the GT was not aggressive to begin with? Because
Apparently, the Ford GT was not an aggressive-looking car.
looking at
The
that.
3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 has been tuned to 700 horsepower and 619 pound-feet of torque, which is a 53 horsepower gain and 69 pound-feet gain over the stock one. The LeMANNNsory can top out at 220 miles per hour, which is 4 miles per hour more than the normal Ford GT. It doesn't say a cost. It doesn't say how much this is.
Yeah, inquire for pricing.
Probably.
now who's going over 200 and goes, I need that 4 extra.
4 extra.
Never understood that.
You could probably literally just.
Is that just a big dick thing?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll only convert 3 GTs in total. So if you want one, you better get your order in quickly. Why? It doesn't look bad. That's what I'm saying. That's what I feel. But at the same time, I would never get it.
Yeah.
I'm paying so much more extra for a Ford GT, which already looks insane. and that goes 4 miles per hour faster and is supposed to 53 horsepower more when.
Because it's a collector's car.
If you live in Dubai.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Speaking of Dubai and affording shit, you can also probably afford this. Lamborghini's building a 4,000 horsepower boat. Woohoo! It's
Cool.
It's called a pocket yacht.
I know nothing about boats.
I was gonna say, how fast is 4,000
Yeah, is
horsepower
4,000
on a
a
boat?
lot?
Holy 24! This sounds big. 24.2 liter MAN V12 diesels that each make 2,000 horsepower and 4,700 pound-feet of torque
Each?
each.
Holy shit,
Dude.
How many knots can they get up to?
That's a good question.
How fast is a knot?
And yeah, I was gonna say, can you put on the screen a conversion of miles per hour to knots?
It's 63 feet long and 18 feet wide. That's a pretty big boat. Its top speed is 60 knots, which translates to 69 miles per hour. For a yacht.
My Mini went that fast.
Not on water.
Let's stop talking about this.
Bro, 60 knots for that big of a fucking boat?
It's a big boy.
That's a big boat. Your Evo can't do 60 knots in water, bro.
I don't give a fuck.
I bet you it can. Just drive fast enough out of the water. It'll skip a few times.
It is starting at over $3 million.
Pay $3 million to go 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, I feel like when I'm personally on a boat, I like going slow.
Yeah, right? That makes sense.
True. I mean, it's way safer to go 70 on water.
Yeah.
Imagine a boat party.
Give me some.
70
Yeah,
miles an hour.
I'd rather be on a yacht than like on that.
Exactly. If I had a yacht, I want to be going nice and slow and enjoying my yacht. You know, not
Like when you see a rapper doing a party on a boat going 60.
imagine shooting a music video at 60 knots, bro. That's not easy. That's not gonna happen.
I'm just saying.
All the bikini girls are gonna fall off the boat. That's not working.
I can come up
Gonna be a lot of silicone going different ways.
But yeah, apparently they made it because they wanted to compete with the Mercedes one that Mercedes made.
Mercedes made one?
Remember they teamed up with some boat manufacturer to make an AMG boat?
Yeah, you know what?
did
I
see
don't
that.
care. Let's move on. So the new Land Rover Defender came out recently.
Yes.
A lot of people don't like it because it's not like the original roots of the Land Rover, which have been the same since the beginning. So I think this big rich guy was like, oh, I want to buy the rights to keep making the Land Rover. Jaguar Land Rover wouldn't give them the rights.
Okay.
So they had to create their own, basically. It's called the Ineos Grenadier. It looks pretty cool.
Looks pretty sick.
So
Now, are they gonna get sued?
that's a good question. But they're hoping that, like,
I mean, they literally asked the person that they're gonna copy,
it's like,
can we
do
buy?
this?
Can we do it? No. I'm gonna do it anyways.
I'll do it anyways. We'll call a different name. You never know what happened.
Not a bad business idea.
Yeah.
You already know that there's a market.
Yeah,
Someone
yeah.
already made the car and it sold well.
Yeah, and keep selling.
You're like, all right.
Oh, dude, they're planning 25,000 of these a year.
That's a
big number
That's a huge. That's a lot.
for a company that didn't exist 2 minutes ago. BMW signed to supply 6-cylinder gasoline and diesel engines, with ZF giving the gearboxes.
So it'll be a reliable Land Rover, which is
Yeah.
a change.
And it has the ability to tow up to 7,800 pounds.
Holy shit.
Yo, this seems legit, though.
How are they manufacturing it though?
That's a good question.
Because after looking at Tesla's manufacturing,
That's true. Yeah.
I'd be pissed if I got one of these and we're really about cars, because it sounds like they're aiming towards somewhat car
Yeah,
enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And you get it and the panel gap's terrible.
Right.
Like,
Maybe like-
things squeak. You know, you're going over bumps and you're just squeaking the whole way. And you're 2020 whatever, however you pronounce it.
Yeah. Would that be too far off from like a normal Land Rover though?
That's the charm. That's a, they sell it. That's like an advertising piece.
I'll pay 40,000.
40 seems fair.
40 seems like a right.
It's gonna be more expensive than that.
Yeah.
Put my money on that.
Unless they just like break into the Land Rover factory and just steal all their machinery. Like, you don't need this anymore. We'll take it.
No, they just steal the cars off the line. Just like one here, one here.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be our show for this week. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. You can check us out at thecurbsidepodcast.com and find us there on all our platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, radio stuff.
Again, on Instagram, at the Curbside Podcast, Twitter at Curbside Pod, Facebook the Curbside Podcast.
And thank you to Kid Dope for the intro and outro to our show, Fast Cars and Wild Hearts. And thank you to Justin.
Yeah, thanks for having
Here
me.
to be on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. And as always, my name is Jeff.
I'm Parth.
I'm Andrew.
Remember, drive safe, and life is too short to drive boring cars. Let's go win. It's cold.